Hey you lovely lot, and welcome back to Cowland on Cars, the channel that is forever showing you how many old knackered cars I truly own. And this week we're going to something that I've had in the collection for almost 20 years. And if you've ever watched any 90s American police dramas or CIA dramas or FBI dramas, you'll already know what you're looking at. This is a 1997 GMC Sierra, star of so many films of that period. Also the works truck here, also what I used to tow the caravan with, and also what I used to take the kids to school in, believe it or not, with the 5.7 V8. But I'm ashamed to say I've let it lie for longer than I should. And as you can see, it's a little bit green and needing a clean. And of course, who do we call when we want to get a car back to showroom condition? We call Daz from Dodo Juice.
Hiya.
Hey, buddy.
When you said you had a Sierra, I thought you meant a Ford Sierra.
I know, I got him up under false pretenses.
I know. Because you go home now.
Now this has obviously been parked under a tree for a year, so it does look worse than it is because we have some lovely trees in the yard here.
A year?
It does make cars look as if they're returning to nature. What are the tips and tricks and the do's and don'ts for when you're trying to resuscitate a car that is a little greener than it should be?
Well, the first thing we need to do is check the paintwork on this. It's a little bit worse wear in a few places, as you can see up there. You've got a bit of lacquer peel.
Yeah, there's not a lot we can do about that, is there?
Not a lot we can do about that, so it's just one of those cases of avoiding that area. And that's pretty much it. Just check the paintwork, make sure it's safe enough to actually clean. And then now we need to pull out the big guns, really, because this is filthy.
It is filthy, but I think in about 15 to 16 minutes time, it will look a lot better. So get a cup of tea, settle down, and let's see what you have to do to bring an old, under tree parked GMC back to life.
So the lacquer peel was pretty much on your roof is gone. The lacquer from there up is knackered, so we need to avoid this with pressure washer, chemicals, absolutely everything, because that's just going to blow the rest of this lacquer off and obviously cause more damage.
So this is how I got the truck all those years ago. Black over champagne, narrow arches, loads of chrome trim and little tiny 15-inch wheels. I then dropped it, put the wider arches on. Chrome 22s were the thing a few years ago, but I've toned those down since. And she just was a very useful, usable truck that could tow loads with a big bed. I need to get it back on the road. So Daz, like, people pay a lot of money for what they call a living wall, which is like a moss wall on their office or car showroom.
Yeah, I've got one of them at home. It's like those little balls that you have like moss in and like a little plant and a twig. I paid a lot of money for that.
People pay a lot of money. Look, I've done it here for free. So I've created the beginnings of a living wall on my window scrapers.
Do you reckon we could scrape it off and sell it?
I think we could. So just talk me through the initial process.
The first thing we need to do to this filthy vehicle is we're going to have to rinse all the loose dirt and debris and grime off, get rid of those loose leaves, cobwebs, and see what we're actually working with underneath. Then we're going to move on to the heavy hitters. We're going to hit this with an alkaline pre-wash to knock all of this algae and all of the organic materials off of this vehicle. Then we'll see where we're going from there. Whether we need to give it another hit, maybe we'll give it a hit with a alkaline snow foam just to get into the nooks and crannies and take the rest of that dirt out. Then it's onto the contact wash.
What's happening?
So we've rinsed all that loose dirt and debris and moss off the vehicle as much as we can. And you can still see there is a lot of green algae, dirt, grime stuck to this vehicle. And that's where we need to grab the heavy hitters. Now, it is a warm day. I am going to hit this with our Citrus Pre-Wash Crudzilla. That is a highly alkaline product, but it is very warm, like I said. So I'm going to go straight over the top with our high alkaline snow foam, iPhone Max as well, just to give that product a longer dwell time and so it doesn't dry out on the paint.
Now, what is a shame that you guys at home can't smell what this smells like. Describe the smell, Darren.
I would say if an orange and a lemon had a baby.
Yeah. It's a St. Clement's.
Yeah. It's a very Christmassy smell.
It is actually, very festive.
So you can probably see it's starting to steam already. It's a warm day. If this dries on your paintwork, it could potentially cause sort of etching or marks or just chemical staining, which you don't want. And that could be for any chemical. It doesn't need to be a strong chemical.
So what's the answer, big lad?
The answer is now to stick some snow foam over that to give it some dwell time.
So just in case you missed what Darren was saying there, you can use snow foam not only as a cleaning product in its own right, but also as a way of protecting chemicals you've got on the car on a hotter day to make sure they're not drying off too quickly. Do your hands hurt yet?
Yeah.
Massive, isn't it?
It's huge.
It's like a small flat with 22-inch wheels. So if you're wondering, is this product doing anything, you can see actually the dirt before Daz has even got his hands dirty, just pulling it off.
So now we've got all that rinsed off and taken probably 95% of that dirt with it. it's time to move on to the contact wash. Now, if you are doing this and you are doing like a barn find, a disaster detail, then don't be afraid to let it dry now, it's wet, and then see any areas you may have missed, and then you can go over it again with the citrus pre-wash just to make sure you've got all of that really nasty ingrained dirt gone, and then you can move on to your contact wash. However, I think we've done a good job, and most of that dirt is gone, so we're going to jump into grabbing the bucket and sponge.
Nice. It's the royal way because I've done absolutely nothing. I've not even made him a tea yet. Tell me what you're doing.
Quick tip, always make sure you clean inside your flap. No one wants dirty flaps.
Oh, matron.
So before we start the contact wash, I'm going to move on to these wheels. Now, I know you are changing these at some point, Paul, but I can't walk away without cleaning them, and there is a lot of brake dust built up on these. So I'm going to use our heavy hitter, ferrous jeweler, which is a dedicated iron fallout remover, and that'll take out all this iron contaminant from your brake pads with absolute ease. Now, you may have noticed the tyres on this are absolutely hanging. So I've grabbed New Look, our tyre and trim cleaner. I'm just going to spray it on. And you should just see the dirt absolutely melting off these in seconds. Now, after we've let that sit for about a minute, minute and a half, grab yourself a tyre wall brush. Just give it a good scrub. You can see all that dirt coming out of the sidewall. And just rinse it off.
If you're wondering, does this product work? There you go, before we've even brushed it. You see all the old dressing that's coming off it? Look, it's disgusting.
So we come to the contact wash, as always, 2 buckets, 2 grit guards, Born to be mild, our pH neutral shampoo, and I know I joked and said a sponge earlier. Don't use a sponge. Today I am using our wash pad, a shag pad we call it, and it is basically a nice sponge inside, and then you've got a microfiber outing, which is to keep the paint nice and safe.
So why is, for all the people at home watching, why is a wash mitt better than a sponge? We should be scientific about this.
So with a sponge, the dirt will sit on the surface and you'll be dragging dirt that you shouldn't have dirt on the paint after you've done a good contact wash. There still will be a few little bits and you can drag that around the paint, which will cause that scratch and swirling. Again, you'll see it in your supermarket car parks. You'll see like the spider webs on the side. That's what sponges or bad contact wash will cause. With something like a wash mitt, a wash pad, it's got long fibres that draw the dirt right in to the base and keeps it away from the paint. It's nice and soft and delicate, and it'll give you a nice safe wash. So when you're washing your car, it's always best to go in straight lines. This helps reduce the chance of getting those swirly marks, again, that I mentioned earlier. Because this thing is a massive old boat, I'm not going to go around the whole vehicle before rinsing it off. I've done this whole side, and I'm going to rinse this off. This helps to stop that shampoo from drying out and leaving these horrible sort of mite marks all over it. So we've finished the contact wash. The car is now clean. As you can see, this water is sitting on the paintwork. It's as flat as Holland, well, and it's as big as Holland as well. So we need to add some protection. Now, because it is so wet, it's going to be a bit of a pain to dry. However, we have a product that will add protection as you dry, and it's called Dynamo. It's a beading rinse aid. Now, this will add protection that will last up to 2 or 3 months and also help us dry, and I'll show you how.
Can it do magic? Oh, no, that's Dynamo.
No, that's Dynamo, yeah. It doesn't lock itself in a box above London, does it?
If it did, I'd be really impressed.
So as you can see, it's nice and flat. Once I spray this on, you can almost see the water instantly beading.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what this does for drying is it makes the bonnet hydrophobic. So now, when I rinse this off, that water is now coming off the bonnet, which is going to make it easy to dry because there's less water to dry. Now that protection that is on there, again, will last up to 2-3 months, and you'll get that when it rains, when there's dirt on there, it'll help keep dirt off. It's just a fantastic product.
But can you set fire to the bonnet like people used to do at county fairs with myrrh?
Not tried it, but go get some petrol and light and we'll give it a go.
Let's give it a go. With your towel over your shoulder like that, you look like a superhero.
Just a case of slapping your drying towel on. Look at that.
Now, I know my lovely audience is at least over 40, so you're all remembering chamois leathers and how long that took and how many times you used to wring them out. This is a lot quicker, isn't it?
It is a lot quicker and safer. So now the car's dry, we're going to move on to just the finishing details. One of them being the glass. If your glass has still got marks and water all over it, it'll just make the car look horrible. So all you need to do is grab yourself a glass cleaner like this one, spray a few sprays on your window, just spray a little bit onto your cloth. And I always like to do the box method, and this is going around the outside first and then up and down. Flip your cloth to a dry side and just do the same.
And if you're watching from the police, I know the tints are illegal, but they were fitted in America in 1997.
And then if you want to do the inside as well, just do the exact same process. Instead of going up and down, go left and right. And the reason is, if you look at the end and you see any smears, they go left and right, they're on the inside, up and down. They're on the outside.
Now, you know I only work with the highest quality valeters. Look, see, Darren's got his lead crystal whiskey tumbler there. Are you going to enjoy a little dram before the next beer?
Yeah, I'll pour myself a drink, shall I?
Don't drink this, kids.
Yeah,
if you're watching
at
home,
home.
yeah.
If you're watching home, please don't try this at home. So it's time to dress the tyres, and I'm using dark matter. Now, one little trick that a friend of mine, Skid Mark, taught me not so long ago, and it works with all tyre dressings. Get yourself a receptacle. Could be a whiskey tumbler like this.
Doesn't have to be lead crystal.
Painting bean can, anything like that. Just make sure it's clean. Just pop a little bit in and grab yourself a detailing brush, paintbrush, and just paint it on.
It's like Bob Ross, isn't it?
It is, and it gives you good coverage and also keeps your hands nice and clean. And you can get into, you see these little lines on the tyres? Just makes it so much easier to get into those.
And do you feel like a gangster with your lead crystal glass?
I do. I feel like the Don.
Monty Dunn. It's like watching Rolf Harris about the dubious charges.
I was going to say. You may notice I have painted on quite thick. Now that's because these tyres are quite old and degraded. What that's done is that's given it time to soak into the tyre, nourish it a little bit, and actually do its job. So now I've gone around the whole car. Grab yourself an old microfiber towel. Now I say old because it will leave black marks and pink marks all over your towel. And it's also the same for any plastic trim or rubber that might be in your car. If it's really badly degraded, paint it on thick, let it sit, and then buff it off. So now we've buffed it off, you can see the difference between the coated trim and the uncoated.
Well, don't leave that bit then. And
Ready?
can't take that kind of weight.
I know before you were mildly, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Impressed?
Impressed. That's
Aroused?
Aroused. Now I know before, Paul, you were mildly impressed.
Aroused.
Aroused. Or impressed. Same thing in my house. By our product Tainted Black. Just take a look at your window wipers. Look how bad that one is compared to that one. I'll now just hit that with a bit of Tainted Black.
Go on. So is this before you get the old rattle can out? This is your little halfway house?
100%. And do you know what? You don't need to rattle can it. That's, that's going to last a good few months. And it's just as simple as popping a bit on an old microfiber towel, rag.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it won't cover where there's paint missing. But
That's giving it a little cheeky lift, hasn't it?
that's a lift. And that's going to last. And as you can see, Tainted Black works really, really well. And if we come down here, this front spoiler is very faded, very knackered. I'm going to show you a little bit of Tainted Black on that.
Whoa.
Now a little does go a long way. I could still probably go around the rest of that side, just a little bit, but you can already see a massive difference. Now if it is really degraded like this one is, let that sit, buff it off, and then give it a second coat.
So even in just a few hours, that is looking an awful lot sharper. All the trims look good, the tyres look better. We've still got to give it a service, a recommission and an MOT, but that's really installed my enthusiasm. And if you want to hear how it sounds, I think you're going to love it. Thank you, Dazzle.
Anytime.
Thank you, mate. As always, he's absolutely smashed it. I'm going to put a link to each of the products. What we find is when we've done these videos in the past, you guys seem to like buying the products. So thank you for that, because that really helps me, because Dodo support me. And obviously, if you support Dodo, that's how the world works, isn't it? So thank you for buying the products. I'm going to put a links to all the products we've used so you can click straight through and buy them. So that's number one. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about the history of this vehicle and why it's so precious to me, because I've had it for such a long time. Literally, I've had this vehicle before both kids were born, and it's been the thing we used to take them around in when they were little, go on all the caravanning holidays. So I'm going to put it back on the road. We've got some new wheels and tyres coming for it. We're going to give it a bit of a refresh and a once over. But I don't know about what you think. I think when you get a vehicle like this and it's green and sorry looking and all of a sudden it's fresh and it's sharp, it just renews your enthusiasm.
It does, yeah. It makes you want to do something with it, doesn't it? And yeah, definitely. I want to see this back on the road.
We'll put it back on the road.
100%.
Now, I know a load of you love Darren, and who wouldn't, quite frankly. If you want to see his amazing YouTube channel, it's The Hairy Housewife. I'm going to put a link in that at the bottom. And also, if you want to buy any of these amazing Dodo products, you can see how well they work. I'm going to also give you a cheeky discount code. I'll put it in the description, but it's Cowland, basically. If you put Cowland into checkout when you're on the Dodo shop, you get a big, hefty chunk off. How much, Daz?
10%, I believe.
10%, there you go, you know. Better than kicking teeth, isn't it? But thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe. If you could hit the new hype button, that really helps me out, because that makes the algorithm think I'm more talented and better at presenting than I actually am. But I'll see you next time. Who knows what we'll pull out of the archive, but it'll be something fun and green and needing work. See you then. Shall we go to the cafe?
Let's go to the cafe.
The cafe, what's that?